So today I'm actually turning 28, it's my birthday, and I wanted to give you like a kind of insight to the last, technically 28 years, but for the first 16 years it was quite boring, so I wanted to like start from my 16th, from when I finished my GCSEs up until the present day. So back when I was 16, I finished school, as what everyone else does in the UK. I think I got, I think it was 4 or 5 GCSEs, C grades. I got 4 Bs in GNVQ which is like advanced IT, I guess. It was literally the only thing that I was good at in school. And the 2 that I really wanted to get was my maths and my English, which I luckily passed somehow, especially my maths. I was never good. In fact, back in year 7, I was put into a little breakfast club, which we basically met up an hour before school on Wednesday mornings, and we had free toast and free orange juice, and we did extra maths. So I guess that kind of possibly did help. I also started professional wrestling at a club in Birmingham too, which massively helped my nerves and my confidence. I was a very shy person. If you said to me back in 16 that I'd be starting to do vlogs and I've been doing it over a year and I'm still enjoying it, I'd say nah. So coming to when I was 17, I performed in my very first professional wrestling show. I was 4 months into training and somehow they agreed to let me to go on, which was fantastic. But I remember standing behind the curtains before I was about to go out and I absolutely just dropped one. I was so nervous, it was unbelievable. But as I was saying before, if I didn't start professional wrestling, I honestly wouldn't have been able to grow the confidence of what I actually have today. So when I was 18, what I decided to do was I wanted to become a professional wrestler. And I went to Atlanta, Georgia for a couple of, should have been just over a month, but I lasted 2 weeks. The story behind it mainly was the British style and the American style is quite different. There's a certain few things what the American style does, what the British don't. For example, on my occasion, I went over on my ankle when I was taking a hip toss, and it sprained my ankle completely. It was just blown up in pure blue and purple blob. It was pretty disgusting. So then I had to make the decision to come home, and then I was juggling about. Like at that point, I was working in retail at quite a famous branded store, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to go full-time university or work in said retail place for full-time. After about 2 minutes I decided that I wanted to go to university. Also at 18 is when I first got my tattoo as well. It's a dragon that goes around my arm. At 19 I started university and I finished college with a DMM, which is a Distinction Merit, with a National BTEC Diploma in Games Development. This is where I actually began to figure out what I wanted to do in my life full time. I basically came back from America and I went to my tutor Dean and I basically grovelled at his feet, begging him like to put me or to show me how to apply for universities. And fair play to the guy, he just went, go and find yourself a computer. And I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And he goes, well, what's your favourite part of the course? And I was like, if I'm being honest with you, I didn't really like too much of it, apart from my final major project where I made a what would be video games trailer. So he turned around to me and said, so, okay, video production. I went, I guess so, yeah. So then I started to look up universities and I had 4 picks. I think it's Southampton, Wolverhampton, Birmingham Uni and Derby Uni. I had a look at Wolverhampton Uni and the halls straight away turned me off. It was just disgusting. And then I knew one of my old friends from sixth form, he went to Derby Uni, and I kind of like, that kind of took me to go there because I knew someone. Plus they did the course of what I wanted, obviously. Also at this point I won my very first belt in professional wrestling with my then tag team partner Kid Flash, who was known as the Enigmatic Sensations. And at this point when I started university, I met 2 people that are still very close to me today. So when I was 20 was basically like a year of when I actually finally grew up properly. It was when I started to learn a lot of stuff about life, like how to do basic things of like washing your clothes and cooking for yourself and making sure you've got enough money to go out. And also during my first year of uni was when I first started to know that video production was my hobby and I wanted to turn my hobby into a job. I was filming a lot of stuff that I don't really have much knowledge to, but at the same time I was learning a lot of experience in how to deal with the client in a subject that you don't really have much knowledge to. And I was doing a lot of hairdressing tutorials and makeup tutorials. But that was an all-round a pretty good experience to have at such a young age anyway. When I was 21, I met somebody who would later teach me a good lesson in life, and that is don't trust anybody. This was also the year when I put pro wrestling aside. When I was 22, I went to Las Vegas and San Francisco. It's to where I filmed my dissertation, creating a documentary and a music video. I also finished university that year. I came out with a 2-2 degree in media production, specialising in TV. Anybody that knew me before would know that I wasn't an academic person. I never liked school, so actually finishing university was quite a big thing for me. So me and my then uni mates, we all celebrated. We had a lads holiday in Magaluf. At this point too, I was also taking my video production a lot more seriously. It was actually when I bought my first DSLR camera, which I'm actually filming on now. When I was 23, I met 4 very important people, 3 of those that I still keep in contact today. They're the ones that gave me essentially a break into the production business. And I started working on a feature-length film as a runner. A couple of months later, after I asked them if it's possible for me to do a bit of footage in the background, that they jumpingly said yeah. So I started doing that for a laugh, and then a couple of shoots later on that they said to me that they wanted me to be a second assistant camera on the feature film. Also this year is when I started to take video production seriously, and I wanted this to be a full-time career choice. So at this point I started my own production company with said old friend. But then soon after that, money got in the way, and unfortunately the business wasn't as important to him as what I thought it was. It was to me. I wanted to do that, and we just broke ways. But shit happens, and I've learned from that part of my life to don't trust anybody. Always think about yourself and just make sure that you're fine. A very short time later, I got my first job in TV. I was a camera operator at a very well-known shopping channel. 2014 was probably one of the best years of my life in terms of my career, and also I was a best man for the first time for my brother's wedding. It's a day that I'll never forget, and I was very honoured to be my brother's best man. Later that year at the same shopping channel, I was promoted to be the video editor. 6 months later I was headhunted and I was asked to be a full-time video editor at a new startup company. It was a local TV channel that was based in Birmingham. This was to be my second full-time job. I also decided to get back into professional wrestling, and I decided to do a charity event, all in aid of the Teenage Cancer Trust. Whilst working full-time as a video editor for a local TV channel, I was also given the opportunity to edit a short film which was broadcast on the BBC. It was actually broadcast on my 25th birthday. I carried on working with the same guys I also worked on for the feature film, and this time they were giving me freelance work as a camera operator on 3 educational films, which would be soon to be put into schools. They were released the following year. I also went back into professional wrestling for the first time in 4 years. When I was 26, I decided to take part in a white-collar boxing event. I was part of a team that rose over £30,000 for Cancer Research UK. And then at 27, I left home in pursuit of a full-time job as a video editor for a small company in Derby. I rented my first house and I started climbing the ladder on my own for the first time. Although the job didn't last for long, it was for a very positive way. But in a very positive way. I learned to deal with problems that will naturally try to stop you in your life and figure it out for myself. I also carried on freelancing and started working for a car dealership before starting my most CV influential job at a worldwide marketing agency. 6 months went by and I decided to leave. I went back to freelancing for a month before getting a reply to an email that I couldn't believe. I now work for a championship football club as a broadcast editor. It's like being back at my old local TV job, but on a bit of a bigger scale, like a lot more money being poured into it. And in my personal life, within the last year, I was best man for the second time for one of my closest friends, Josh Hall. So this video isn't about bragging, it's more about hitting my career goals and how I've come so far in life. I'm only 28, which in my eyes is quite young, I hope, sort of thing. I'm not even 30 yet. But I've been able to do a lot of things. I've been able to go on nice holidays. And the main thing is that I've managed to be able to turn my hobby into a full-time job. I've also started renting a house, and hopefully this time next year is when I want to be able to put a mortgage down and actually move into my own house, into something that I've purchased. But I hope you've been able to take something from this video and hopefully follow your own dreams, and I hope this has been more of an inspirational thing too. Happy birthday to me.